Hello there. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm still waiting for my guest, but I wanted to just show up here to say hello to anybody who may be watching, any fans of Unorthodox. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Abe Friedtanzer. I am the editor of Movies with Abe and TV with Abe. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Sorry, so I'm the editor of movieswithabe.com and tvwithabe.com. One of the things that I do is I try to watch every pilot or first episode of a show that I can. And I was lucky enough to screen Unorthodox, which is a 4-part limited series that was released on Netflix about a week and a half ago. From conversations with a lot of people, I've gleaned that it is really fascinating insight into a world that some people are tangentially familiar with, and some which is completely new to others. And also something that most people seem to really want more of. So the fact that it is built as a limited series rather than a show potentially with multiple seasons is a bit of a disappointment to those who have really enjoyed it, want to see more, want to be able to follow more of these characters and great performances. So I'm just checking quickly to see if I've heard anything from my guest, so I can keep you posted on what's going on, since I know that you do like to see me, but you'd probably rather hear from my guest about a bit about the show. Thanks for bearing with me. While we're waiting, I would be happy to give you a few recommendations for some other great projects that are worth checking out if you liked, which I'm sure you did, if you liked Unorthodox. There's a film called Menashe that was I believe the first Yiddish film, primarily Yiddish film, to premiere at the Sundance Film Festival several years ago. And that's another really great one, which it's a film that doesn't really deal with a struggle with observance, but instead showcases those within the Hasidic community who are sort of dealing with problems that aren't necessarily talked about very often. And so I found that very fascinating. Additionally, there's a wonderful film called Fill the Void, which was the Ophir Israeli Oscar winner for Best Picture several years ago. And was almost a nominee for the Oscars, but unfortunately not, about a woman who from a very religious community in Tel Aviv, whose sister dies in childbirth, and she's encouraged to marry her husband. So that's very interesting. And the director, Rama Burstein, made a very entertaining follow-up film, which isn't quite as serious, called The Wedding Plan, that I would also recommend, since it's really not so common to see films that deal with this world in such an accurate way, and so it's really refreshing to see that. Additionally, a film that's probably closer to what this show shows, but is of course fictional, is called Disobedience, from director Sebastian Lelio. Came out a few years ago, actually last year, sorry, with Rachel Weisz, Rachel McAdams, Alessandro Nivola, about a woman who has left the community, not necessarily in a particularly bad way, who returns home following the death of her father and sort of has to reconnect with old friends. And I don't want to spoil anything more about it, but it really is a really wonderful film. And I know that Netflix offers some suggestions of things to be able to watch after seeing this. And so there's some other great stuff you'll find. I'm sure most fans of this show have already made their way through Shtisel, and are also eager for more of that whenever that may be coming to US screens. Just checking in once again to see if we have anything from our guest. I apologize that she's not available at the moment, but I hope you're entertained enough listening to me. As you can see from where you're watching on YouTube, there are many, many videos available. I try to, as I said, review every single pilot that airs. Obviously, that's difficult because there are so many. And I only started this a little under a year ago, and I've already recorded over 150 videos, which is really, it's a lot of pilots, some of which are hard to remember. But my feeling is if I can talk about it in 1 minute, there can't be that much to say. It's not too much to digest, but it's an opportunity for somebody who isn't, who doesn't necessarily want to go through and watch everything, since I really like watching TV, to be able to do that. I also review full episodes on tvwithabe.com. I watch anywhere between 10 and 25 shows a week, depending on where we are in the TV year. With the current situation and production slowing down and season finales approaching, we're probably on the lower end of that. It's a chance for me to catch up on some of my streaming, like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, any service that releases all their episodes at once. Because I don't know about you, but when you watch a lot of shows, it's hard to be able to really keep up with so many different series at once. Or sorry, not at once, just one at a time. And so therefore, I really don't binge watch in the way that I should. The only real exception is this show, Unorthodox, that I was a little busy. I watched it about a few days after it started, and then I really just wanted to get through it as quickly as I could, which is obviously a testament to the show. Additionally, this is not quite as active right now. I cover movies, as the title of the channel would indicate. I record a video every week, which is Weekend Movie Recommendations with Abe. Formerly, that would talk about films in theaters. I'm skipping that for now, since anything scheduled for a theatrical release, I still wouldn't encourage you to go out and see, even if a theater is, for some reason, open near you. But I look at what's new on DVD, if you still use DVDs, what's new on Netflix and Amazon, Hulu, and again, some of the new streaming services like Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus. I also like covering film festivals. I was supposed to be at South by Southwest last month. I was supposed to be going to Tribeca Film Festival next week. Fortunately, I did get to go to my 7th Sundance Film Festival this past year in January, which feels like an eternity ago. And there I debuted the Minutes with Abe during the festival, which was a lot of fun. And so you can find a 1 minute video reaction immediately after each film that I recorded outside, sometimes in the snow, for what I thought. Since again, especially with people have more time on their hands now, being home more often, there's a lot to search through. And so it can be difficult to sort of look at that. I'm also a big fan of award shows, which I know that some of my friends and readers are not, but I've covering for the website, thefilmexperience.net, the Emmy Awards, looking at all of the categories and some of the more crowded races with some shows like The Handmaid's Tale, Stranger Things, The Crown, and Westworld, all returning to eligibility after taking a year off. So we're just going to hold on. I'll keep talking for another minute or two. And if our guest isn't available then, we may try again for a little bit later. But as I've said, Unorthodox obviously is just 4 episodes that you can watch and watch again if you'd like. But I hope that some of the recommendations that I've given in terms of some of those other movies, again, Menashe, Fill the Void, and The Wedding Plan, I can double check exactly where those are available. I don't have the information in front of me. But again, excellent films. And as I mentioned, there are over 200 videos that are about a minute long on this channel where you can watch and just sort of find out what's available. So yes, and so again, I apologize that my guest is not here with us. My hope, obviously, is to have my guests come in the future. But I think after doing this and realizing that YouTube Live is not as complicated as I thought, this is something I may do again in the future. And so I'd like to start thinking of some good ideas, some different things to discuss that I hope will be of interest, and invite anybody who's watching right now, perhaps to comment with any ideas of what they'd like to see me talking about. Again, me and another person, ideally, but as you can see, I'm also can just sort of speak off the cuff if necessary. I hope everyone is doing okay and feeling okay. I know it's a crazy time in a crazy world. Fortunately, we still have Netflix and movies and TV, and that's at least something, which is really great. So, and I see that we actually do have a question: the best pilot for someone looking for a new quarantine binge. So that's a very good question. One of the things I've mentioned as a possibility, I haven't even gotten that far into it, is the show High Fidelity on Hulu. I only watched, I think, 3 episodes before I just got busy with other live television, but I think that's really great, and Zoe Kravitz is a great lead in that. If you're looking for something a little bit more violent and sort of Jewish focused, nothing like this, of course, Hunters on Amazon Prime is another good option. And there are a number of other really, really great things out there. Additionally, as I covered in my weekend movie recommendations video from Friday, which I would advise you to watch, it's just about a minute, there's some really great stuff available now on Netflix, including Mud with Matthew McConaughey, which is from 2013. I saw it at the Sundance Film Festival that year, and I thought he was amazing and he should win an Oscar. He won an Oscar that year for Dallas Buyers Club, which I didn't love as much, but I did find it to be a really, really incredible performance in this film. And there are 2 young actors who were in that film, Ty Sheridan and Jacob Laughlin, who in the past 7 years have really gone on to do a lot of great stuff. And so that's one option that's really, really good. Additionally, Minority Report is to me one of Steven Spielberg's most underrated films. He made it in 2002 when he also made Catch Me If You Can, which I believe is one of Leonardo DiCaprio's most underrated films. And so those are 2 sort of recent classics that I would term that way, even if other people wouldn't necessarily. Those are 2 films that I would really like to watch again. I also, again, have not gotten very far into it, but I just watched the pilot episode of Home Before Dark for any Apple TV Plus subscribers. The first episode is also available free if you have an iPhone. You can watch the first episode of most of their shows. And it stars Brooklyn Prince from The Florida Project, which is a wonderful film, as a 9-year-old journalist. And it's based on the real story of a 9-year-old journalist who operates and publishes her own paper. It's not really that hokey. It's sort of mysterious. I actually might compare it most to The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And so I think that it's not with, the witchcraft and all that, but it's an interesting show. And again, even though, I'm sorry that our guest is not available to join us, I'm hoping she'll be able to come on at some point soon. We can try a little bit later. There should be a wealth of information on this YouTube page. I encourage you to subscribe. Always happy to have more subscribers, and it's a great way to get notified. I post almost every day a new video just because there really are that many pilots that are premiering. Additionally, you can follow, like on Instagram, Movies with Abe. There's a Movies with Abe Facebook page, which I don't update quite as much as I should. Also a Twitter account that I don't update as much as I should. But tvwithabe.com, movieswithabe.com, the YouTube channel, the Instagram. And I also, again, I have my opinions. I have the things I like, things I don't like, but I encourage you to disagree with me. I like talking, to other people. If they have differing opinions, that's really fine with me. But I appreciate everyone sticking on. I will come back on with another live video if we're able to get our interview subject at some point. And worst case scenario, we'll be able to just post it later. But I appreciate your time. Again, I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and encourage you to come back for more. I'll try to have a guest next time. Thanks so much.